Hi, I'm Kev and I'm living the van life. This is my old Merc 7.5 tonne motorhome. It's a 1995 814. The last of the T2s before the Varios came out. My intention with the van life is to live out in the country where I'm working as well. I run mountain bike events, so this is my home and also my base, my office. This is where I'm working from. I'm off grid and working hard is what I often say. My van here, it might be old, might be a 1995, but I've got all the technology that is enabling me to live quite a comfortable life. I've got 2 kilowatts of solar, a 12 kilowatt hour self-built lithium pack. Not only can I have power for the ordinary stuff, laptops, TVs that people have, but I hate washing up. So I've got a dishwasher, which is fantastic, and that doesn't stretch my power system at all. It works, and I can get right into the washing machine when there's always, something in the bottom, isn't there? There's always that last sock that you've got to get out, and the same for being able to get, everything out of here. Not the ideal spot to have a dishwasher, but it's the only, this was actually the 5th bed in this camper, and I've converted it into a shelf to use, but yeah, this was actually a bed. I've also got a washing machine. When I'm having a brew, I've got an electric kettle. I've got an electric halogen oven, toaster, microwave. For my morning coffee, I can have the microwave going and the kettle for my morning latte. That fuels my day, so that's always a good start to the day. So in terms of the power, obviously the power input is the solar, 2 kilowatts via a single 100 amp MPPT into the 12 kilowatt hour lithium pack, and then I've got 2 inverters. I've got a Victron 2000 watt inverter charger that is my sort of always on inverter that runs my huge fridge freezer. And with the way that I live, often out in the sticks, then having a massive freezer gives me a lot of flexibility. So one thing that's really good about having a freezer that Ollie's going to really like now is, do you want an ice cream?
Sure.
Being that it's really hot, I can offer you a choice of a mint cornetto. I think that's a salted caramel thing, some other type of cornetto, or a fake Mars bar ice cream.
I'll take these some other type of cornetto. Cheers.
And I use the 3000 watt inverter basically to run the kitchen stuff and the white goods, so the washing machine, dishwasher, oven, microwave, they all run off the 3000 watt inverter, which, at the moment it's summer, I'm getting like 10 times the power that I need. That can stay always on as well. But I do find that the sort of 7 weeks either side of the winter solstice, so 14 weeks out of the 52 of the year, there isn't enough sun. So that's when I'm trying to save power and I can turn off the inverters. So although this is a big truck, there is just me and my dog in this van. I've had it for 3 years. Before this I had a Sprinter 413, which was a great van. Did have some things that I liked, but I just needed more room. When you're permanently living in a van and working and you've got all the stuff with you, space is an absolute must. I am set up to be completely off grid. I have 600 litres of onboard water, 250 in the front tank, which is winterised, 300 in the rear tank, which isn't winterised, and then I have a 70 litre header tank as well. So it is a 7.5 tonner. So even when I do need to drive to somewhere new with all those tanks full, I'm not over the limit. I also tow my Jimny. Once I'm parked somewhere, I can use that to either go to the work sites around where I'm parked or go shopping. So this is my Jimny, really good tool. This is where the airframe connects and the brake connects. We've got a 1600cc Liana engine in that gives me 44% more torque. A super low ratio gearbox, 6.5 to 1 for really low gearing, towing a trailer off-road. And then a 4-inch lift with 31-inch tyres. So quite a modified Jimny and an excellent work tool for my off-grid and off-piste lifestyle. I do try and separate my plastics and cardboard waste and store them in the van till I can find somewhere to recycle them. And even when I'm shopping, I think about the packaging. If you've got to store all that packaging, then if you think about what it is that you're buying and how it's wrapped, then that just makes your life easier. And the same with my food. I try and look for a red tractor, for British meat. I feel that's a good thing to be able to do. Last year this truck only did, we had COVID, but it only did 1,000 kilometres between my various work sites. And if I'd have been commuting, I'd have done a lot more than 1,000 kilometres. So not only do I live, particularly in summer, mainly off the solar power, but when I'm parked at my work site, I've also got no commuting to get there. One of the big things with van life is controlling condensation, and anyone who says they have no condensation in their van either doesn't live in it full time or is lying. There's always somewhere, whether it's the back of a certain cupboard or a certain corner, will always get a little bit of condensation. It's important as a van dweller to understand where you get condensation in a van and then try and minimise that. So I've 2 places that I used to get condensation in this truck. One is under the bed, which is above the cab, and it wasn't insulated. And then the other was in some cupboards in my kitchen, particularly my pan cupboard, where it used to condense off the pans quite a lot. So for the bed, I've only got sort of 2 foot of headroom on the over cab bed, so I couldn't put a big chunk of insulation, a big air gap with slats and a mattress. I just wouldn't have had any room. So I've managed to use 25mm Celotex with a dry mat. Now I wasn't sure whether the dry mat would work. Only gives you like a 10mm air gap, but it's not perfect. But it has reduced massively the amount of condensation that I've got, and also with its weird structure, it's given a very good support for the mattress, so that I don't have to have anything above the insulation to sort of give a flat surface without denting the insulation. It's sort of giving a bit of protection. So that's worked really well in reducing condensation. People like a seat with their...
Oh no, you can't. You need a footrest.
Yeah, well this is basically how I spend my time inside, either working on the laptop or on top of Freya's food tub if I'm watching the TV.
It is a big TV in here, but it's not that big of a TV.
Big for a van. As I said, I'm off grid and working hard, and if you're working hard, particularly for me, I'm building mountain bike trails. I need various tools. I also like to have my bike with me, so I needed a van that had good garage space. When I had the Sprinter, it was like a single bed with a garage underneath it, and it was barely enough room. This truck got a massive garage, can keep all the stuff I need in there, tools tools wise. Also houses one of the water tanks, the 70 litre header tank. I've got some valves where I can choose which water tank I'm using to control that. Basically no power, 0.2 amps at the moment, going into the battery because everything's full, but we've got 14.4 amps coming from the solar, so that's powering everything that's on. So because I've got lots of power, I do have a big TV. Well, a big TV for a van, not for a house. I think it's 28 inch. I can also use a second screen on my laptop, although actually I do use my laptop for most of my working and entertainment needs, but I do like watching the Formula 1 on the TV, and particularly if you are watching TV during the day, especially when we're in summer with beautiful weather like this, then my TV's mounted quite high and it helps keep reflections off the screen. So sometimes the TV gets used purely because it's the only screen I can see. Do have an Xbox as well, and my printer sat on top of it because I do need to print things out, and it's this sort of thing that you need the space for. I don't use the Xbox that much, but it's there. Don't need the printer that much. When I do need it, you've got to have it there. So all these little things that you might only need once a month, you need the space to have them. So I really couldn't manage with less space than this 7.5 ton truck, especially with the dog. She likes to stretch out. I have permanent Wi-Fi in the van. It's a Telefonica RUT 240. The sort of more expensive one is the 955, but the 240 does everything I need with a bit of a makeshift bodged mount, so mounted upside down to an external omnidirectional aerial, and that's really good, especially in remote areas. Picks up plenty of signal, particularly upload. It's very good for upload compared to a phone hotspot. I do have some little customisations. So I've got the normal gas blow heater. It's not one that most people have. It's an Atwood RV heater, which is an American brand. A lot of people have the Propex or the new diesel heaters seem a lot more popular. Mine runs off the propane, but I have one of the 3 feeds for that going into my shoe store, which in winter when your feet get wet, because I'm basically outside for most of the day, then it's quite handy to be able to have a shoe store that also has warm air pumped into it to dry your shoes out for the next day. So cheers for watching. Hope you enjoyed the tour around my home. Remember, like, subscribe to Ollie's channel, and if you want to see more from me, then I'm off grid and working hard.